Hello and welcome to episode 178 of The Fizz. Thank you all for joining us. Our new format, second time doing it, 2 times a week, boys. Feel like I'm happy we're doing this, but it's seeing you guys twice a week quite a bit. Not gonna lie. How we doing, boys?
Yeah, I don't love it either. I wish I could only see you guys one time at night when I'm half asleep, but I guess we do it for the people. Onward and upward, ready to get into another one here.
Yeah, let's rock it, boys. You know what? I don't mind seeing your ugly mugs twice a week. It's all good, you know? You guys are haters, bro.
Hey, before we start off script, I want to give a shout out to our co-host Lou. Big moment yesterday, purchased another Mosquito Authority franchise. So congratulations to you, Lou, on expanding your mosquito business. Big things going on for the guys of the Fizz, and congratulations, brother.
Yeah, appreciate that, boys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I had a little round of applause sound effect, and I went to hit it, and I picked the wrong color, and it played like jazz music. So
Pretty cool.
that's what I mean. Like it's just celebration jazz. And for those out there who don't know, Ice Cold Brew Lou, Mosquito Authority, summer's right around the corner. If you got bugs like I do, you're going to want to give Lou a call. Have him spray your bushes, your lawn, everything in between. Stops the bugs for the whole summer. I have him come out a couple of times. It's awesome. It's fantastic. It's a service I've never used until Lou got into it, and I'll never not use it again. So Mosquito Authority, look them up this summer. If you got bugs in your backyard, you like hosting, hanging out, got kids, pets, all that stuff, Ice Cold Brew Lou will spray you down.
Super soak that hoe.
Exactly. That is the slogan. So let's get into it. You know, we're doing shorter episodes now. So our second one of the week, we're recording here March 6th at 3:30. It's a Thursday. The boys are here, and we got to open up with some sad news. Unfortunately, Detroit icon, Detroit sports commentary legend, Twitter legend, Andy Isaac has passed away. He was in hospice care after a almost 10-year battle with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Andy Isaac, honestly, one of the first guys I ever followed on Twitter, one of the first Detroit sports personalities, a fun guy, a positive guy, an awesome follow, hilarious. He's the OG hater of the Bears. Fuck the Bears forever. Just a really sad news to receive today. I'm glad he's no longer in pain, but just really, really sad news for such a young person and such an inspiring person in the Detroit sports world to pass away today.
Terrible news. First and foremost, fuck cancer. Support your local cancer charities, foundations. Terrible disease that takes far too many people far too early. And I don't know about you guys, but one of the guys that I kind of looked up to, he did it at a way higher scale than I did, but always kind of had fun with it, made fun of himself while making fun of others, never took himself too seriously, and really just, was the the epitome of Detroit sports with, hey, let's give you the information, but not get into the X's and O's and have fun while doing it. Really going to miss him. And like you said, Frank, one of my first Detroit sports follows was World of Isaac. Going to be irreplaceable. But, that's why we do what we do, is to try to fill a void and to try to have an impact like he did on many. We can only hope to have a fraction of that impact on the Fizz Army and many others here. So RIP to Andy, a big hole in the Detroit sports media here today.
Yeah, you guys hit the nail on the head. Definitely a punch to the gut. You know, one of the OGs, the Mount Rushmores of the game, of the Twitter game and the Detroit sports culture game. And you go on X, and the guy has had nothing but love. Even when he was around, when he was doing his posts, he was doing Fatterday, hashtag Fatterday forever, doing his food reviews. You always see trolls on people's accounts go in there and fucking just be assholes to people. And on his, you never saw that. I've never met him in person, but he seemed like one of the most likable people, just a good guy to be around. You see people like Chow Down Detroit shouting him out, Freddie the Pizza Man, just a bunch of the OGs from, the Detroit sports culture, and just had a lot of fun out there, and he'll definitely be missed.
Yeah, his reach was definitely big, far, and large. I mean, all the Barstool guys were shouting him out today. I mean, it was in the New York Post. The original, the Sausage King of Detroit, the Fatter Days. I was watching some of his old videos today. I mean, he was, an inspiration for me to do Fast Food Fridays and stuff. I mean, he was reviewing like root beer flavored Peeps and like, all of that stuff was, I just remember watching it, back in college when I first signed up for Twitter, and he was one of the first follows we had. And I mean, a 10-year battle with Hodgkin's lymphoma, a lesser man would have been more negative along the way. And he continued to push and try to be positive. And it's definitely it's just sad to see one of the good ones go. So RIP to Isaac, World of Isaac. You'll be greatly missed by many, many, many people, even outside of the world of Detroit sports. So had to open with that sad note, had to give Isaac his salute, give him his flowers. But I feel like in honor of the Sausage King of Detroit, Detroit related food items, Fatter Day, all that stuff, this next topic, actually he would be pretty proud of that we're talking about. Wednesday, March 5th, Lafayette, Coney Island is now officially open again. They have taken steps and procedures to clean the place up after a voluntary shutdown. I believe January 27th is how long Lafayette, Coney Island's been shut down for the second time in 3 years. And the Detroit Health Department held a full-blown press conference to announce the opening of Lafayette, Coney Island.
I've seen less formal press conferences about fixing the roads, putting street lights in our neighborhoods, and picking up the garbage on time. This has gotten fucking out of control. They're closed for 5.5 weeks, and we got a fucking presser like it's Batman fucking Begins in here. And it's
State of the Union.
Yeah, Harvey Dent's up there fucking telling us about how to get rid of rats at a Coney Island. It's ridiculous. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. People will decide. They know what's going on. You could tell me today that you saw another rat in there, and I would still go to Lafayette, Coney Island, and ask for extra mustard and extra onions on my Coney. Leave Lafayette alone. Frank, print the shirt. Leave Lafayette alone with a rat behind it. Stop with the theatrics and start focusing on the real issues in this city.
Only in the city of Detroit do you get not one, but two press conferences related to Coney Island shutdowns and rats. If you remember, Lafayette, Coney Island gets shut down late January. American Coney Island woman gets on the mic and gives a full-blown angry hot dog rat presser about how her restaurant definitely doesn't have any rats whatsoever, even though they share a wall and run the exact same business. To me, it just made me hate American Coney Island even more than I already do, trying to kick Lafayette while they're down. And by down, I mean just running the same business they have for however long that they've been open. You had the full-blown Detroit Health Department walking around with cameras showing that they finally replaced this stuff that was out of code for years. We had a press conference because Lafayette, Coney Island, finally dusted and mopped the floors. And I just think it's the most Detroit thing that could ever happen. And it just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's wild that we're still talking about it. And like you said, I mean, they were making a State of the Union that this place was coming back open. We're still going there. We know what we're getting. You know what you sign up for when you go to a place like this. I pulled up the article on Free Press, and they were showing some pictures in there of the reinforcements that they put in the basement. They got caulk, steel linings around the foundation. There might not be any more rats there, boys. I mean, they went full remodel, bring it back. It's wild, dude. Just leave the fucking place.
Put new footings in there? I mean, what's going on here?
No, it's just hack patchwork. That's all it is. It's the same thing with some fucking steel plates and caulk slapped around it for appearance. That's what it is.
It's totally lipstick on a pig. I mean, you can tell they just actually cleaned the place and painted. That's what I got out of it. That's what I noticed. And then they plucked.
Floors mopped for the first time in 30 years. Like, that's how you get rid of the rats.
Honestly, it makes me like a little bummed. Like, it makes me want to go there less. You know, like I feel like they sold out. Like the first thing that made me sad was when they first started accepting credit cards, and now they've bent the knee to the city of Detroit, and are starting to clean things up. And word on the street is Detroit's going to go to like the colored sign for health codes. Like, you know, they have like green, A is green, B is whatever. Like, so I think they're going back to the lettered health codes. But I don't know. It's just things are changing.
It's ridiculous. I know it's a different department, but hey, MDOT, you want to hold this formal of a press conference for eastbound 696 causing gridlock in half the city? Or are we just going to keep holding formal press conferences for a fucking hot dog place that has a rat in a major city? I haven't seen one piece of news or press conference on the freeway that's causing gridlock throughout the city, but God forbid we got a fucking little mouse roaming around a fucking Coney Island, and we need to have Harvey Dent up there fucking, this is what we did. This is ridiculous. It's out of control. Prioritize your press conferences. State of Michigan, city of Detroit.
I love that Chandler has turned the rats at Coney Island into Gotham City. I couldn't love it more. I couldn't love it more. And so we do have shirts that say Lafayette Loyal. I think the next ones are going to be the rats did nothing wrong. I think that's the next one. The rats did nothing wrong.
That's right. Maybe we'll start throwing rats at Red Wings games like the Panthers back in the day after goals.
You can't come back.
Protests.
You can't come back if you never left. They never left. There was no coming back.
Yeah. And I got to say, like, I think it's pretty funny. Like, obviously, we're all Lafayette Loyal guys. Like, they get rats. And I honestly think this was better press than American got through all of it. Like, I think that presser that American held hurt them, and the rats, we just keep laughing at it. Like, you know.
Yeah, that was good news.
That was a more formal press conference than the one held by Giuliani at the Four Seasons. All right. Well, speaking of being passionate and caring about your foods, let's move on to another Pure Michigan story. So you may have seen this in the news over the last year, but around this time, actually 11 months ago, almost to the date, there was a story that came out of a Southfield Chipotle where a man felt he was skimped on his guacamole serving. So he started a fight, started a beef, things escalated. He walked behind the counter and put a bullet in one of the workers' knees. Pretty ridiculous. Got a skimpy serving of guac, ends up with a cap in the knee. He got sentenced this week on Monday to 12 years in prison, 33-year-old Detroit native. I just felt like, again, this was a very Pure Michigan story.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, did you read the article in the Free Press about how it went down? Like, I found it funny how they narrated it. Like, he first went behind the counter and, like, pushed the employees and then just started, like, scooping his own guac. Like, that was the only objective. Like,
They said he took a cup of guac.
Yes, cup of own guac, and then it sounds like it popped off when the male employee slapped it out of his hand, per the interview, when they got into the squabble, and then he pulls out the gun, and, I mean, thank God he didn't do any worse damage, but he shot him in the leg or the knee. He didn't even, like, take it out and, like, just, like, he literally just tried to, like, hurt the guy and hit him in the leg or the knee. One of the crazier stories, you're wasting 12 years of your life over a $2.50 cup of guacamole.
Yeah. I mean, boys, I'll be honest, there's a small part of me that's on his side, though. I'm on his side a little bit. This has been an ongoing issue at Chipotle for a long time now. How many people complain about Chipotle skimping you out? They have a thing going around now. I don't know if you guys know about this, where you bust your phone out and pretend that you're recording them when they make your burrito.
Yeah,
so they give you more meat, so you don't like post it anywhere. So this is an ongoing issue, and it's sad that it took to this escalation for Chipotle to maybe, look into a bigger spoon to scoop the guacamole out. It's a simple fix.
You know, like Chipotle, I don't know if there has been Chipotle's had a big downfall, I feel like, since we like over the last 10 years.
It used
like,
to be heavy Chipotle, and I'm Qdoba now. I'm for Qdoba now.
And that was unheard of, I feel like, when we were in college. Like everyone was Chipotle. Chipotle had like the most brand loyal people ever. I mean, you want to talk Chipotle brand loyal? Jerry, the CFO, Champaign Athletics. That guy was a Chipotle warrior, dude. And somewhere along the line, somewhere with a couple of E. coli busts, the trust has just withered away. Like it's withered away. Like, but the employees aren't putting enough, whether it's meat, whether it's guac, onto your order, to the point where customers feel like they have to film you to like embarrass you like a zoo animal to make sure you're doing your job. The trust isn't there anymore. And I feel like this story just encapsulates all of it. It's just people are at their wits' end with the skimpiness of Chipotle. Now,
I will give our counterpart, Lou, or our co-host, Lucy, credit. One of his most viral tweets back in the day was around this issue, where he specifically called out an employee and said, "What is that chicken coming out of your check, bitch?" And I quote. So Lou has been on the forefront of this before this ever happened last year. This is a 3 to 4 year running issue with Ice Cold Brew Lou right now.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's accurate. It's a problem, dude. It's a big issue, and it needs to be resolved. I was dying reading that article, Chandler, when the guy's back there. Like, I just imagine him grabbing like a cup that you would fill a Pepsi with and just scooping out a shitload of guacamole. Fucking John Wayne, the fucking guy, roll out, pockets full, guac full.
Apparently he was arguing with the staff member. He was arguing with the staff member, and they were getting into it, and then they had to pull her away, and then the counter was left unattended. Yeah, and he had already paid for his order, so there's no thievery involved here. But then he went behind the counter, started filling his pockets with guac. He's apprehended. Guac slapped out of his hand.
That had to be pretty funny too. Just like,
yes, that guy. And yeah,
how big are your balls to like hold it down for your employer like that?
And I don't know how he was trying to, shoot, but like, below the knee is not attempted murder. So, maybe he knew the legal system. So that's part of it as well. One thing I will note, I did look this up. Detroit and Michigan, lowest shooting rates, lowest fatalities of shootings like since like the 60s. So numbers are way down on that. So this is an outlier. We're not in the top 10 anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they're way down.
Wow. And that was 2024?
That was in 2024, yeah. And we're apparently 2024 early results are saying like it's the lowest numbers we've had in 50, 60 years in Detroit.
Wow.
No wonder why we're holding these high-end press conferences for minor issues.
Nothing else.
We don't have anything else to talk about.
That's it. Gonna be sad to see Dugan go, man. He is a absolute jug for the city.
Duggan?
Yeah, Doogie,
And that's why we don't get political, because we don't even know their names.
Yeah, I like the guy. I'm shouting him out.
No, I like it. I like it. All right. Well, should we get to our first sports topic of the show?
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. So the Detroit Red Wings. Chandler asked me last time we spoke, is this situation where we lost to Columbus twice in a row similar to the 2003 situation where we lost 2 to Columbus and then Yzerman sold the team? I said no. I don't think it's the same situation. I think we're a much better team. I do think we have a much better chance to make the playoffs. That 2023 team, they lost those games and I lost all hope. I haven't lost that yet, but a lot of people around the internet and in the Red Wings community definitely have. The Red Wings have now lost 3 straight after dropping a 2-1 loss this week to Carolina at home. Pretty tough loss. Wings were not dangerous on the offensive end, played pretty stingy defense. But Alex Lyon gave up a second goal where he mishandled a puck behind the net. and Carolina was able to capitalize. Lyon, I thought, played fantastic after that. Soderblom scored an awesome goal, but the Wings were unable to beat a very good Carolina team at home. And you can look at that and you can say Carolina is a good team, but the other flip side of the coin is the Red Wings schedule is probably the toughest in the NHL to close the season, so they're going to have to win some of these damn games. So tonight they got Utah at home, and I don't want to call it a must win, but looking at this schedule, knowing that you've lost, your last three and the wild card race is as tight as it can be, feels like a must win game versus a team they should beat at home tonight.
Yeah, I agree, Frank. It definitely feels like a must win. Since the Four Nations, it's just felt lackluster out there. Soderblom's goal really good, but my God, he looks slow out there. I felt like on the offensive end of the ice, like we just looked slow in general. Larkin's been dead silent for the most part. Just need our guys to step up more. Mo Seider has not looked great as of recent. I don't know. It's not panic mode, but we need to start winning some games. Utah is definitely one of the games that look pretty good for us at the schedule looking forward. We got OV coming into town after that, then Brady, and it's just going to be tougher the farther we go.
Yeah, and I'll have a question for you here in a second, Frank, but I think we're seeing what we've seen the last couple years as just a quick point, but when the top guys don't produce, we don't do anything. You look at Raymond, you look at Larkin, you look at DeBrincat over these last couple games. I think DeBrincat's been the best out of the three, but our top guys don't score or don't put up points. The offense does nothing. I know for a fact that happened last year. When Larkin was out, we lost, 8, 9 straight? I just feel like we're so top-heavy, and we can't always depend on just the top guys. They're going to have off nights. We've got to scrap together wins when our top guys aren't feeling it. And I just don't think we're there at this point in the season with a lot of season left and with the rest of the season to correct it and still get into the playoffs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Since Four Nations, Larkin and Raymond combined for 2 goals total, and they both scored them in the same game, and that was a loss to Minnesota. So we kind of go as Dylan Larkin and Raymond goes, it seems. DeBrincat and Kane have been very hot, without a doubt. But you're absolutely right. Like, we need those guys to produce. And you're kind of seeing a little bit of the hurt with our depth. We're without Michael Rasmussen right now. I'm not a huge Andrew Kopp fan whatsoever, but you kind of be remiss to say we're not missing him. Like
Tarasenko, he has done nothing.
Tarasenko's done nothing. And then, so we'll see if there's a move to be made here. It definitely smells like one is coming. The Red Wings release, they trade Ville Husso to free up cap space. They release Christian Fischer, who was picked up by Columbus today, which was kind of a surprise. We thought he would clear waivers, but now his salary comes off the books. And then the Red Wings use that extra salary to pick up pretty much a free 4th rounder by retaining $1 million of someone's salary. And then so they get a 4th rounder next year, which I know makes no Red Wings fans excited whatsoever. But there's still some cap space that Yzerman can work with. And I'm pretty curious if he'll make a move. His quote was, don't expect the cavalry to come charging in. And, I don't want to give up our draft capital or our young guys to get some guy to get us into the playoffs this year. I don't think that's worth it. And I think Yzerman thinks he has a good enough roster to make the playoffs, and I do too. It's just about putting your head down and doing it.
Although I did like to see that Carter Mazur got called up.
Yeah.
I think we've been calling for all of us, get some of these young guys up, get them experience, especially this year. Get these guys action, especially if they make the playoffs. More experience, the better as we build with this core. But a couple questions for you guys. And also, did you see Carter Mazur's headshot in college? One of the sickest mullets of all time. I mean, the guy's mullet is 10 out of 10, an 11 out of 10, if you look at it. Quick, simple question, yes or no? Frank first. If the Wings don't make a move, do they make the playoffs?
They can, yes. I think the roster they have is good enough to make the playoffs. They just got to win games.
Lou?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, no move. They're good to make the playoffs. Second question, 1 to 10, Frank. How hot is Yzerman's seat right now?
So I know you asked me this just to get under my skin. Like in my brain, it's at a 0. Like the team is still really good. If you have Todd McClellan for the entire year, we're probably comfortably in a wild card spot right now, if not even a little higher. You fire Yzerman and you bring in a new GM right now, you are restarting the rebuild that he stripped down to the studs back in 2019. You can tell, and I know everyone can see it, he has drafted like an animal, like a beast. Every draft pick is like starting to make their way up, and they're really good. Mo Sider, Razor, those, you know, you don't even need to talk about them. But like even Marco Casper, Johansson, Edvinson, these guys rock. We don't even have our top 2 goalie picks up yet, and they're going to be up in the next few years. Carter Mazer is now getting looks. All these people are in the pipeline. We have an unreal pipeline of players coming up. It would be absolutely ridiculous to try to throw band-aids and get rid of capital and young guys to like try to make the playoffs as a last ditch effort this year. It'd be silly. It's patient. I don't give a fuck. It's patience, and I'm waiting for it. We're going to be so good when all these guys are on the roster.
Are you going to be alive by that time?
Yeah, I'll be alive, Chandler.
Okay.
You will be, because I'll fucking kill you next time you ask me.
I was planning on going to Lafayette. I might not make it out if I got rat feces in there.
I'm more worried about you swallowing the bleach that they clean the place with. Bleach or rat shit? Give me the rat shit every time.
Well, I will say this. It's not this year. Next year's do or die for Yzerman. He don't make the playoffs next year, you're gone. This year is what it is. Is what it is. You're getting guys playing time. You're getting them experience. You're bringing these young guys up. That should be the plan for the rest of the year, in my opinion. Get experience. But if you don't make it next year, in year 7, that's too long.
You know what that's going to be, though? Like, you know what that will be is it's going to be like, say we followed your playbook there and the Wings finish 9th next year and they don't make it and we bring in a new GM or whatever the fuck. It's going to be a straight up Alavila situation where like the team is going to be sick with a roster built by a guy that was ran out of town, like 100%. And like that will be the case. Whoever, if Yzerman got fired, you should be licking your chops to take over as GM for the Detroit Red Wings, because you're going to have his entire draft stock just like to work with. I will say the pro scouting has been shit. The guys we have signed have pretty much all been shit outside of Patrick Kane and Cam Talbot and Alex Lyon. Like, I would say everyone else has been pretty damn bad. Andrew Kopp, not a great signing. Comfer is good like in spurts, but not great overall. I mean, these are like the Petries, the Sherratts, just not great. Tarasenko kind of sticks out the most. You know, those signings haven't been good, but you know, like, I mean, but even last year, like the Gostisbehere and Perron were pretty solid, but a lot of the pro signings have not been great. The pro scouting for the Wings has been pretty shit.
Long and short, we all agree. Yzerman's not dead. He's not gone after this year, but the seat gets hot if they don't make the playoffs going into next season, in my opinion. We might not all agree on that, but in my opinion, if we miss the playoffs this year, he is officially on watch for next year's results.
In your head. In your brain.
That's that crazy guy.
That's fair.
Happy guy.
No, hell. You guys did great. Well, boys, we're at about the 30-minute mark. We're keeping these short. Any party notes before we end episode 178?
Go green, baby. Smoke them boys. Hawkeyes tonight. Shit on them.
That's right. Chance at our own non-shared Big Ten title, clinching it tonight. And then we get it beat up on Little Sisters of the Poor on Sunday.
Quick question. Michigan tripped, obviously, at the end here. So we win tonight, though. We outright have won it, right?
That's correct.
I got it. No matter what.
No matter what. But you know what? I'll say it, and I'll say it again. Sunday's a bigger game than tonight. So it doesn't matter what happens tonight. We got to get the W Sunday regardless of the outcome tonight.
No doubt.
By double digits.
Yeah. I mean, finish the year, what? 15, 16-1 at Breslin, something like that.
Hey, keep putting. Who knows? Maybe sneak into the 1. Who knows?
They have a chance. They
I
have
don't
a
know.
chance at a 1 seed.
Feels like March, boys. Feels like March. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. You will hear us again on Tuesday for 2 more episodes next week. So have a great weekend, everybody. Good luck on all your bets, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Great weekend, everybody.
Champagne, 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 champagne.